Hey, welcome to another video. It is October 29, year of our Lord 2021, and we're going to review assignment number 10, moving the needle in your retirement plan. Really, this week's lesson focused on asset allocation, and so here we have kind of an overview of what this week's lesson was. Here's the video from our Zoom meeting if you want to watch that. These are the 4 investment strategies we discussed. These strategies are each designed to help you maximize return and minimize risk. And asset allocation is the one that we highlighted, which is asset allocation is the investment strategy that is the single most important determinant of your portfolio's returns. And so we're using asset allocation to move the needle on your retirement analysis, your probability of success in your retirement plan. The part of this week's lesson was to use your asset allocation, changing your asset allocation to see how that affects your probability of success. So let's go play with that a little bit. Here are the issues that were brought to my attention by a couple of students this week. Jacob is having trouble changing. He says the drop-down menu for asset allocation is not allowing me to change how I would want it allocated. Can you help me with this? So I'll jump into your plan, Jacob, and we'll show you, at least I'll try to figure that out for you. And also Kathleen. Kathleen's having trouble changing the asset allocation in the accounts that she has linked. So we'll jump into that and look at those 2 plans. And again, if you have any questions, leave a comment below, and either on YouTube or in the course. I'm going to post this review actually inside of your course at Money Study Group, so you'll see this as an update, an assignment review. So let's jump into Right Capital. And so we're looking at Jacob's plan right now, and what Jacob has done is he's created an investment account here. So Jacob has actually 2 investment accounts, and you can see, Jacob, that you've used customize. So it looks like you've gone in and you've changed nothing here. So let's just change it to based on a model. And you can see that you have these options. These are pre-built portfolios with different asset allocation. So I would just focus on these top 5 or 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you've got preservation, which is way conservative, and then conservative, which is conservative. Balanced is a little less conservative, and you can see as you click on each of these, it's going to move it around. So again, you had customized. There was nothing customized in this specific account. You have $200 balance in your 401k. So that's kind of what we're looking at here. If you have customized, you may want to click into one of these. I would use one of these top. And let's say you use conservative, and I'm going to hit save. So then the other investment account, which is also manual, customized, it does look like you've made some changes here. So good on you. But let's do the same thing here. Let's, instead of using this limited, so you've got customized, but you've only really put in asset allocation for these asset classes, you know, emerging markets, small cap, mid cap, and cash. So there's a way better way to do this and some large growth. So I would suggest for anyone watching this video who wants to use asset allocation to move the needle on your retirement plan, just consider the fact that, you know, the system has built-in tools to help you see what decent asset allocation would look like. So here's preservation. Just take a look for a minute and see what the asset allocation is, the most conservative selection of all, with 20% in equity, 80% in fixed income. And so as you move up the ladder of, you know, to more aggressive to most aggressive. Each of these takes you a little different. Now you're in conservative, which is very conservative, 35% in equity, 65% in fixed income. We move down to balanced, and you see it just moves the needle in terms of, it doesn't move, I'm not saying it moves the needle on your retirement plan. It actually just changes the asset allocation. And you can see in each of these asset classes, which is what we've been focusing on this week, you can see how they shift to become more aggressive, and obviously less cash and more equities and bonds. So we have cash, we have equities, international equities, emerging markets, real estate, U.S. bonds, international bonds. So these are the asset classes that I wanted you to just get familiar with. So the best way to get familiar with them is just to play. Again, I'm just going to go back to show you again, everyone. I went into profile, net worth. I went to the investments. And by the way, if you haven't put any investments here, if you haven't added any accounts, investment accounts, then I'm going to delete this for Jacob. If you haven't done that, then naturally you're not going to be able to do any kind of asset allocation here. So what we have currently, the current allocation for Jacob is, I believe, what he's already set up. Yeah, this is what you've already set up. The current allocation is what you have set up in your investment. So if we go to action items, we can drop down and see to balance back to your target portfolio for this investment. Let's see, what do you have here? Current allocation. So it looks like it's picking up the allocation. I'm not sure where we got this. I'm puzzled about that, Jacob, but at any rate, let's go back into your profile and go to your investments and just take a look again. So this says customize, so let's change it to a model. I'm going to select balanced. I'm going to hit save. And now let's go back into your investments and see what we have. Current allocation, 50-50, so that's the balanced portfolio. And you can change that to, let's say, growth. And you see now it's changing the asset allocation. So again, this is how you tweak your asset allocation. You see I'm just going here and I'm changing it. So I'm not sure exactly what your issue was, Jacob, but let's hopefully that helps you. Now let's just jump over to retirement. And now that we've got your current asset allocation is balanced, I'm not sure what you had before, but here's another way, Jacob and everyone who's watching this. This is another way for you to tweak your asset allocation. So in the retirement analysis, this is where we're really trying to move the needle. So let's just jump down and say, if we go to most aggressive and we hit refresh, does that move the needle? Let's see if that moves the needle. So you see how that moves the needle simply by going to a most aggressive. Because you're young and you have a lot of time, this plan is calculating. When you select the most aggressive asset allocation, it's giving you the time to improve the results, and it improves the probability of your success. So hopefully that helps clarify for you, Jacob, and for anyone else who's got questions about what happens when you change the asset allocation and why, meaning why does it move the needle. So I just went back to your current, and your current is balanced. So if I go to balanced, it should be the same. It's not going to move the needle because your current allocation is balanced. So now if I go down here and say, let's go to moderate, which is a little more aggressive, and I hit refresh, Jacob, your plan is going to move the needle just a little bit. So that's what we're looking for. If we go to growth, you can see if we just go one step at a time into the asset allocation, it moves the needle. And you can see the number for the amount of money left in your plan at the end of your plan goes up when you move the needle. So again, we'll go to current. I'll leave it where it is. And I changed your plan. Remember, I went into your investment, clicked on your investment, and I think it's based on a model now, and it's based on the balanced model. So if I change this to preservation and hit save, and then I go back into retirement, and we look at the analysis for your plan now that you have preservation, the most conservative investment style of all. Your asset classes are very conservative, mostly in cash, and you can see you have a very low probability of success. So that's your current allocation, is preservation. So if I hit preservation, hit refresh, it's not going to change because that's what we selected for your portfolio asset allocation. So let's change now. You can see each of the steps forward into more aggressive will give you, in a proposed plan, a much higher probability of success. And that's why I call this moving the needle on your retirement plan, because if you understand asset allocation, if you understand the fact that asset allocation is the number one most important determinant of your portfolio's returns, you can actually watch the needle move on your plan. And that's what this lesson is all about. So now let's jump into Kathleen's plan. We'll go back over here, and I'll jump into Kathleen's plan and see if we can figure out Kathleen's issue. So I'm in your plan now, Kathleen, and I'm looking at, let's see what investments you have set up. So it looks like you have no investments set up. So what you do have is you've set up, you've linked a card. So you used the link account, which is great, and you've linked an account. So how did you do that? You added an account, a card, link. So aggregation. If you want to link an account, this is a very good thing to do for the budget section of your plan, but it's not going to impact your investments. So linking accounts just brings those accounts that you link from other sources, any other institution that you want to link. You can select, looks like there's got to be able to select more, but at any rate, that's a separate lesson. I just want to point out, Kathleen, that what you're trying to do is asset allocation in your credit card accounts. That's not where it happens. You need to actually add an investment. For example, a 401k, and I'll just put 401k, and I'll hit, let's just give you a balance of $1,500 and include it in plan, yes. And when I hit save, now when we jump over to retirement, now you notice that defaulted to customized. So now your probability of success, 35%. I don't remember what it was before. But I think one of the other things I would encourage you guys just to pay attention to is when you go to your goals, your retirement goals, your retirement age. By the way, Kathleen, if you're going to retire at age 60, you're going to have to save a lot. And when you do your investments, now you have an investment. I think the current allocation, your current allocation is pretty much not, you didn't set it up in your investment. I didn't set it up for you. So when I go back to your investment account, you see customized, and it's basically everything is in other. So let's just select one of these, and we'll put you in preservation just for now, so you can see how this works. So enter holdings, asset classes. So we're using based on a model, and we selected preservation instead of any of these others. It's the very most conservative. Now when we go to retirement, Kathleen, and we look at your plan, your probability of success, we see that it's 0 because we used preservation. So if I hit preservation there and I hit refresh, it's not going to change because that's what you set up in your investment. So now if I hit conservative, let's see what happens when I hit refresh. And again, we're just focusing on asset allocation here. And there's not that much money in your account. $1,500 isn't really going to move the needle on your plan. So what we really want to do is make sure that we've set up an investment strategy where you are actually putting money into your account. So when we go to investments, let's go to your profile. Let's go to your investment. Is there a way to, it's included in your plan. So you want to make sure that you're contributing to that plan as well. So one of the ways we can do that is go to retirement, and it doesn't look like you've, so you're putting 6% of your income into your plan. Let's just bump that up to 10%. See how that moves the needle on your plan. So just by contributing more to your 401k will move the needle. I want to show you something though, just by the way, Kathleen. You say you want to retire at age 60, which is way younger than the retirement age where you will receive Social Security, if Social Security even makes it that far. But let's just go to age 67 and watch how that moves the needle. So again, all of these inputs will move the needle. This week's focus is asset allocation. And so I wanted to just make sure you knew how much you can move the needle in your retirement probability of success by simply using better asset allocation. Remember, of the let me go back to where I'm going to go back to this post and remind you that these 4 investment strategies that we highlighted this week, each of these strategies are designed to help you maximize return and minimize risk. But the single most important strategy of all 4 of these is asset allocation. It's the single most important strategy that determines the results or the outcome or the returns in your portfolio. And so that's why we're focusing on using asset allocation to move the needle on your retirement projections or your probability of success in your retirement analysis. So now you're at 12% here, Kathleen, because remember we changed your retirement age. If I go back to 60, you'll be back to 0 because right now you're at 1%, I guess. Current allocation. What did we do? Okay, so that's with 10%. You had 6%. So if I hit refresh, I hit enter, which makes it refresh. So now we're back to where we started, Kathleen, and I will let you get to work on your assignment. And remember, these assignments, you get extra credit, extra points rather, if you turn them in by 3 o'clock on Fridays. So Kathleen, the ball is in your court. Hope that helps everybody. We'll see you next time. Have a great day and a great weekend. And don't forget to trick or treat.